Son. They called him Jesus. He came to love, heal and forgive. He lived and died to buy my pardon. An empty grave is there to prove my Savior lives. Because He lives, I can face tomorrow. Because He lives, all fear is gone. Because I know who holds the future, and life is worth the living just because He lives.
I may end up getting a phone call to go pick up Rick, so if I do, I'll just have to kind of like put everything together. Alright, we are on 2 Kings, and we are on chapter 1. When Moab rebelled against Israel after the death of Ahab. You need something, Mom?
No, I just want to listen to you.
And Ezra fell down through a lattice in his upper chamber that was in Samaria, and was sick, and he sent messengers and said unto them, Go inquire of Beelzebub, the god of Ekron, whether I shall recover of this disease. But the angel of the Lord said unto Elijah the Tishbite, Arise, go up and meet the messenger of the king of Samaria, and say unto him, It is not because there is not a God of Israel in Israel, that ye go to require of Beelzebub, the god of Ekron. Now, therefore, thus saith the Lord, Thou shalt not come down from the bed on which thou art gone up, but thou shalt surely die. And Elijah departed. And when the messengers turned back unto him, he said unto them, Why are you now turned back? And they said unto him, There came a man up to meet us, and said unto us, Go turn again to the king that sent you, and say unto him, Thus saith the Lord, It is not because there is not a God in Israel that thou sendest to inquire of Beelzebub, the god of Ekron. Therefore thou shalt not come down from that bed on which thou art gone up, but shalt surely die. And he said unto them, What manner of man was he which come up to meet you, and told you these words? And they answered him, He was a hairy man, and girded with girdle of leather about his loins. And he said, It is Elijah the Tishbite. Then the king sent unto him a captain of 50 with his 50, and he went up to him, and behold, he sat on the top of a hill. And he spoke unto him, Thou man of God, the king hath said, Come down. And Elijah answered and said unto the captain of 50, If I be a man of God, then let fire come down from heaven and consume thee and thy 50. And there came down fire from heaven and consumed him and his 50. Boy, don't we wish we had that much. Ooh. Oh. Again, also, he sent unto him another captain of 50 with his 50. And he answered and said unto him, O man of God, thus hath the king said, Come down quickly. And Elijah answered and said unto him, If I be a man of God, let fire come down from heaven and consume thee and thy 50. And the fire of God came down from heaven and consumed him and his 50. And he sent again a captain of 35, and his 30. and his 50. And the third captain of 50 went up and came and fell on his knees before Elijah and besought him and said unto him, O man of God, I pray thee, let my life and the life of these 50 thy servants be precious in thy sight. Behold, there came fire down from heaven and burnt up the 2 captains of the former 50 with their 50. Therefore, let my life now be precious in thy sight. And the angel of the Lord said unto Elijah, Go down with him, be not afraid of him. And he arose and went down with him unto the king. And he said unto him, Thus saith the Lord, Forasmuch as thou hast sent messengers to inquire of Beelzebub, the god of Ekron, it is not because there is no God in Israel to inquire of his word. Therefore thou shalt not come down off that bed on which thou art gone up, but shalt surely die. So he died according to the word of the Lord which Elijah had spoken. And Jeroboam reigned in his stead. Jehoram, reigned in his stead. In the 2nd year of Jehoram, the son of Jehoshaphat, king of Judah, because he had no son. Now the rest of the acts of Ahaziah, which he did, are they not written in the book of the Chronicle of the king of Israel? We're on chapter 2. And it came to pass when the Lord would take up Elijah to heaven by the whirlwind, that Elijah went with Elisha from Gilgal. And Elijah said unto Elijah, Tarry here, I pray thee, for the Lord hath sent me to Bethel. And Elijah said unto him, As the Lord liveth, and as thy soul liveth, I will not leave thee. So they went down to Bethel. And the sons of the prophets that were at Bethel came forth to Elijah, and said unto him, Knowest thou that the Lord will take away thy master from thy head today? And he said, Yea, I know it. Hold ye your peace. And Elijah said unto him, Elisha, tarry here, I pray thee, for the Lord hath sent me to Jericho. And he said, As the Lord liveth, and as thy soul liveth, I will not leave thee. So they came to Jericho. And the son of the prophets that were at Jericho came to Elijah, and said unto him, Knowest thou that the Lord will take away thy master from thy head today? And he answered, Yea, I know it. Hold your peace. And Elijah said unto him, Tarry, I pray thee here, for the Lord hath sent me to Jordan. And he said, As the Lord liveth, and as thy soul liveth, I will not leave thee. And they too went on. Now, I think it's in the book of Joshua. Jasher, or the book of Enoch. One of them books talks about this, and how every once in a while that Elijah would go up and just disappear. He would just disappear and go off, and then he'd show back up. And he'd take off and disappear and come back. I can't remember the whole story, but I'm hoping one day I'll get to read this book, read one of them anyway. Alright, I'm on number 7. And 50 men of the son of the prophets went and stood view afar off, and they too stood by Jordan. And Elijah took his mantle and wrapped it together and smote. Well, hold on, let me see what's going on. I'll mark my spot. Oh, that was Rick's iPad. Okay, let's go back. I'm on 8. I'm sorry. I thought it was my iPad kicking off. Okay. And Elijah took his mantle and wrapped it together and smote the waters, and they were divided hither and thither, so that they too went over on dry ground. And it came to pass, when they were gone over, that Elijah said unto Elisha, Ask what shall I do for thee, before I be taken away from thee? And Elijah said, I pray thee, let a double portion of the Spirit be upon me. And he said, Thou hast asked a hard thing. Nevertheless, if thou see me when I'm taken from thee, it shall be so unto thee. But if not, it shall not be so. And it came to pass, as they still went on and talked, that, behold, there appeared a chariot of fire and horses of fire, and parted them both asunder. And Elijah went up by the whirlwind into heaven. And Elijah saw it, and he cried, my father, the chariot of Israel, and the horsemen thereof. And he saw him no more. And he took hold of his own clothes, and rent them in two pieces. He took up also the mantle of Elijah, and fell from him, and went back and stood by the bank of Jordan. And he took the mantle of Elijah, and fell from him, and smote the waters, and said, Where is the Lord God of Elijah? And when he also had smitten the waters, they parted hither and thither, and Elijah went over. And when the sons of the prophets, which were to view at Jericho, saw him, they said, The spirit of Elijah doeth rest on Elisha. And they came to meet him, and bowed themselves to the ground before him. And they said unto him, Behold now, there be with thy servant 50 strong men. Let them go, we pray thee, and seek thy master, lest peradventure the Spirit of the Lord hath taken him up, and cast him upon some mountain, or into some valley. And he said, Shall ye not sin? And when they urged him till he was ashamed, he said, Sin. They sent therefore 50 men, and they sought 3 days, but found him not. So they sent out men looking for him, and they could not find him. And when they came again to him, for he tarried at Jericho, he said unto them, Did I not say unto you, Go not? And the men of the city said unto Elijah, Behold, I pray thee, the situation of the city is pleasant, as my Lord seeth, but the water is not, and the ground barren. And he said, Bring me a new curse, and put salt therein. And they brought it to him. And he went forth unto the spring of the water, and cast the salt in there, and said, Thus saith the Lord, I have healed these waters. There shall not be from thence any more dearth or barren land. So the waters were healed unto this day, according to the saying of Elijah which he spoke. And he went up from thence to Bethel, and as he was gone up by the way, there came forth little children out of the city, and mocked him, and said unto him, Go up, thou bald head, go up, thou bald head. And he turned back, and looked on them, and cursed them in the name of the Lord. And there came forth 2 she-bears out of the woods, and tore 42 children of them. So the bears came and killed the kids because they were making fun of him. And he went from thence to Mount Carmel, and from thence he returned into Samaria. All right, we're on chapter 3, and we will read it next time. Thank you guys for watching.